So I interviewed Dolly Parton in 2023. She was putting out her album Rockstar, and basically that was inspired by the fact that in 2022 she got announced to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Bizarrely, she didn't think she was worthy of it, so she actually said she wanted to withdraw the nomination. There was mass outcry, obviously, because not only is she the Queen of Country, but she inspired artists across multiple generations. So she kind of relented, and then she performed at the ceremony. She did Jolene. I think I'd been chasing an interview with Dolly for about 2-3 years by this point. She was a personal icon of mine. Grew up being obsessed with her. Yeah, eventually her publicist came back and said yes. Freaked out a little bit because the imposter syndrome came in, but got myself together, and it was just a call, but it felt immediately like talking to an old friend. She had that gift. She asked how to pronounce my name. I said, well, actually, my university friends used to sing my name to me to the tune of Jolene, one of her biggest hits. I'm not going to sing it now because I'll do it injustice, but she immediately got it and sang it right back to me, and that was kind of life made. And from there, I don't know, she was just this incredible, warm, witty, frank, incredible woman. She was an absolute delight to speak to. She had this very famous skill, which was if she didn't want to talk about something, she would skirt around the subject, but she'd do it in a way where you never felt bad for asking the question. She would always be lovely about it, but she just somehow evaded it so brilliantly. We did actually speak a bit about politics, though. That was a subject she kind of evaded for a lot of her career. She always said quite famously she didn't talk about politics. But I think by this point she seemed quite weary of everything that was going on in the world. And she'd written an original song called World on Fire, which spoke about these corrupt politicians ruining the world. And she kind of again tried to say it wasn't a political song, but then she spoke a bit about how she felt about the world, and everyone was messing it up, like the people in power. She said that her songs were the only way she felt she could fight back. But actually I kind of disagreed with that. I think Dolly led by example. I think she led with kindness and generosity. She famously donated to LGBT charities, AIDS research, a COVID-19 vaccine. She was a huge advocate for children's literacy. So I think basically she just made the world a better place, and there's a big Dolly-sized hole in the world, but hopefully we can lead by her example.